Hello my lovely makers, welcome back to my channel. I'm Patty, I go by Pattymac Makes everywhere online. And yeah, it's been a minute. It's been more than a minute. And for my longtime viewers and subscribers, I just want to say thank you. So many of you have been reaching out over the past few months to make sure everything's okay, everything's fine. I just sort of, I got behind in life. And I needed extra time to take care of things. So anyway, for today's video, I want to share what I consider an older part of my stash. And this is fabric that I got back in May of 2020. Feels like 100 years ago. But I bought this fabric when Bluprint closed down. What I want to do is show you some of the items that I bought in the mad dash of a sale before Bluprint closed down. And I wound up buying the stuff, and it's just been sitting in stash. And the way it comes packaged in a certain way, and I just find I'm not using it. I'm not inspired to use it because of the way it's presented. So what I'm going to do is show you what I have, and then I'm going to wrap it just like I've done all my other fabrics, and I'm going to put it all together so that it's in one space and I can see everything I have together and mix and match, and really let's get back into the making and the sewing and the quilting and the crafting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I actually still have remaining in my stash. It's quite a bit of fabric, so we'll look at that. I'm going to wrap it just like I've done everything else. And then I'm going to show you projects that I've made using these Bluprint, which they go by Boundless Fabrics and Lily and Loom. I love this stuff. I've made quite a few things, and so let's just take a look first. What do we want to do first? Let's take a look at the fabrics that I have, okay, and I'm going to show you the yardage. I'm going to show you what I have remaining as far as pre-cuts go, and I'm going to show you the thread kits. I have to say that of all things to lose, the thread kits are what upset me the most, and that's where I have my most regret. They had their thread kits marked way down at the last minute, and you know, it was penny wise and pound foolish. I really should have gone ahead and bought a couple of, like, they called them the neutral kits, where it was all like whites and creams, because I use so much of that in quilting, and I'm sure you do as well. And you know, it was just like, it was like, I don't want to spend the money. I should have spent the darn money, because I'm working my way through all of those parts of the stash now, and I'll have to go buy from, I'm going to go ahead and buy the RFL on Fat Quarter Shop is what I'm going to do. I'm getting ready to do an order with Fat Quarter Shop to just kind of top off what I have in my fabric stash. I'll talk to you about that in a different video. But gosh, I sure wish I had gone ahead and gotten that other less expensive thread while I had the chance. So okay, but you know, it's done now. It's like you know, a lot of us, when we're younger, you know, we lament the one that got away. You know, that special boyfriend, that special girlfriend, whatever, whoever it was, that one that we just hold up, you know, that we still carry that torch for, the one that got away. And that's how I feel about this thread. Okay. Let's take a look. Here's everything just kind of laid out on the top of my cutting table, and let's just like very quickly kind of look at what's here. I'll just talk about it briefly. So here's my pile of yardage. These couple of items I've already used, so they've been wrapped. And you know, I've wrapped them on the comic book boards like I've done everything else. And I mean, you know, this is just so much nicer to use, and we'll talk about that later. Yeah, so here's the yardage, and you know, it's all in plastic bags, and the noise and the crinkling is so annoying, and it's hard to see what you have. So anyway, there's the yardage. I still have 2 sets of charm packs, And I have in the back, I have right here a fat quarter package. And then over here I have a jelly roll strip, and then this is the remnants of a jelly roll strip. And then all the way here in the back is the thread kits that I've talked about. So let me just kind of give you more of a close-up view of everything as it is, and then we'll start going through that yardage and see what's in there.
Do the seasons change? In your mind coming in with the rain. Tell me, does it feel like home? Let it in, let it go on now. Pull it close to give it up somehow. Tell me, do you stay the same? If you could just see me now, would you believe it now? Clouds breaking, the sky spilling over. I'm coming clean in the water. You were just holding out for everything you got now. Come close, you can lean on my shoulder. We're coming clean in the water. Tell me, does it like it alone? When you're left with the world all alone. Tell me, does the time slow down? Let it in.
All right, so let me talk to you about this thread just a little bit. So it's a Pima cotton, which is supposed to be like the best possible cotton you can use. And what I really liked about this Craftsy thread was that the cotton was grown in America, and they were apparently processing the thread also in America. And, you know, it's really hard to get any sort of craft supply these days that's made in America, which, you know, I have a bit of a peeve about that. I still have vintage fabric in my super deep stash. That's all pre-95, and in those days, which to me is not that long ago, but in those days, that stuff was all still made in America. So, you know, just not to be overly political, but thanks Bill Clinton for killing the domestic fabric industry, because that's when it changed. That's when it went offshore. But anyway, that's an argument for a different video. The Pima thread. So I liked that it was made in America. And I bought, you know, I thought I bought 4 of these. I think I bought 4 of these, and I've gone through one already. These came with 6 different spools, and they are 1,200 yards a spool. You can see some of these I've used a little bit on them already. So I did the math. I paid about $50 for a set. That was their full price, regular price on the thread. That worked out to be about 0.007 cents of a yard. So, what is that? 7 thousandths of a cent. Oh God, that elementary school math is coming back to haunt me. Anyway, 0.007. So then I went onto the Fat Quarter Shop website just to get a feel for the price differences. I'm going to show you these products I found on screen. So they have something they call the Necessities Large Aurifil House Collection. Aurifil is a very nice product. It's Italian made as far as I understand. It's not a Pima cotton, it's a different kind of a cotton. So I'd have to do a little research to compare. but I have used Aurifil thread. It's very nice thread. So that is $48 for the large house collection. You get 4 spools, and they are 1,422 yards a spool, which works out to be 5,688 yards. That worked out to be 0.008 cents of a yard. So very close on price. So that made me feel a lot better. Almost negligible price difference. If you buy it per spool, it is $12 for the 1,422 yards, and it worked out to be the same price point. So that made me feel really good about what Kimberly is doing at Fat Quarter Shop. So the prices are highly competitive. I mean, really, it's basically a negligible price difference. So I am planning on stocking myself up with the neutral threads, because you can see what I have is all colors. I have these 2 neutrals left. That's it. Everything else is a color. And mostly what I find I use, and I think this is pretty typical for most of us who quilt, mostly I use something in this color and value range. So I want to go ahead and really stock myself well ahead on that. But this is what I have left in terms of my Craftsy thread, and I did not do the math on how much that is, but it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 spools, roughly 1,200 a spool. I've used some. I'll put the math on screen for how many yards of thread that is. So I've got plenty of colors if I want to do specific quilting, but I do mostly stitch in the ditch because I'm comfortable with that. Yeah, it is nice to match the colors though. But I think I have enough colors for a while, but the cream I'll stock up on. All right, let's jump into this yardage. So these 2, as you can see, I have already, I've been using this. I've used this in a couple of projects, these 2. And this is such a beautiful tone on tone. I don't know if you can see that or not. Let me just adjust this a little bit so you can see. Whoops, wrong way. Hold on. Let me just darken it up a little bit so you can really see what's going on here, because it's really pretty. Okay, you should be able to see that well on screen. So it's like a tree of life almost type of design. It's really beautiful. It's kind of directional, but because of the tone on tone being so closely matched, you can get away with it using it non-directionally if need be, which I have used it non-directionally. And it just goes with everything, that beautiful cream. And, when you're matching your fabrics, so it's a situation of color, it's scale. Also, I like these 2 together because of the organic shapes that are here. You also have that going on here. So, like all the beautiful rounded leaf type of print in that illustration matches. And gosh, even here, this leaf mirrors that shape of that leaf. If you can see that. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't see it. Anyway, you'll have to take my word for it. So yeah, just some considerations when you're matching your prints. Because print matching is hard. Let's be real. So let me just tell you, right before I came back, I did a little math when I was doing my math for the thread. It's that awful crinkly. If I still had a dog, the dog would be going crazy. If you have dogs, they're probably going nuts because they hear that crinkle. It's like, treat time. Okay. Anyway, I added up. So on these, let me change this back because I'm afraid that'll be a little dark. Hold on. Bear with me. Let's do that. Okay. Oh, that might be too bright. That's good. When you buy the fabric from or when you could buy the fabric from Bluprint, you bought it in 1 yard, 2 yard, 3 yard, or 4 yard cuts. And the way it came to you was in a bag. And the way they did everything was, like, the fabric was printed in one country and then it was sent to another country to be cut and packaged, which seems kind of crazy and wasteful, but that's how they did it. So when the people in the warehouse would go to fill your order, all they had to do, nobody was cutting fabric. All of that was done for them. All they had to do was go pull your print in the size that you ordered. And so on the back, they had it barcoded. Whoops, can you see that? Barcoded, and what it is. Now this, I can't really tell what the name of the fabric was, but you can see this was 100% U.S. grown cotton, so that was nice. So this, all of the cotton that was used in this fabric was grown in the United States. But the fabric itself was then made in Pakistan. Isn't that interesting? I noticed, like, even in Joann, there's a lot of Pakistani fabric, and it is beautiful. So, yeah, this, oh, and then, so then it tells you on the package, 3 yards. So this was a 3 yard cut. And, yeah, so there it is. So, I don't know what it was called. It was a Lily and Loom product. I really liked the Lily and Loom stuff. I liked all of their stuff, just to be perfectly honest with you. But anyway, so there's that one. And that's like a really pretty yellow, and 3 yards of that. This is another Lily and Loom, and I liked this one because it was just kind of a vintage look to me. And there you can see it. Isn't that pretty? And this was another 100% U.S. grown cotton, and made in Pakistan. So they grew the cotton here. I guess they grew and harvested the cotton here, and then it was sent over to Pakistan to be made, which is very interesting. But I have 2 yards of that. So let me tell you, I went ahead before I started filming this and added everything up. And the fabric I'm showing you is 22 yards. So I have quite a bit. But, you know, like, then this one is just a 1 yard cut. And this is the red. This, like, the same. They're the same. Okay. The same print, but different colorway. This was a 1 yard cut. These are now the boundless fabrics, and they're just a little bit different. So I guess Lily and Loom was its own product line and designer, and then boundless, it says specifically by Craftsy. And these were also another like a vintage look. I really liked their vintage fabrics. I like vintage anyway. Okay, this one was, and it doesn't tell us, but it says 100% cotton, but it doesn't tell you where it's from. So this is probably a later product, made in South Korea. So this was all a South Korean print. And I have to tell you, the South Korean fabric that is making its way into Joann right now, it's my favorite. It's beautiful stuff. This is another boundless. Also a South Korean print. I don't know what their the name of it is, but this is a 2 yard cut, and let me show you. This is a jelly roll. I showed you that earlier. That goes with this line. Whatever, maybe it'll tell us on here. No, I don't know. I have no idea. So, you know, when you're buying stuff just to get what you can get when it's marked way down, you know, you just kind of throw stuff in the cart. I think I paid like $15 for the jelly rolls. I wish I'd gotten more now, of course, because the jelly roll is expensive. They're like 42 bucks. But I do like them because even though you can cut your own strips, it's hard to have, you know, a cut of every piece in a collection. And you can see there's like a lot of, there's a lot of different prints in here. So when it comes time to make a project where you want to do a jelly roll, it gives you a lot of color options, color and print options. Anyway, but I have this and then I have this, and I think this is beautiful. I wish I'd gotten more like 4 yards of this because it would make really pretty curtains, and I would need closer to 4 yards to be able to do the curtains, but you know, we live and we learn. This is another boundless. Oh, it's so beautiful. This, I think, was called the Eden collection. Okay, so this is, this was probably the last bit of stuff that they had designed. So this is 100% cotton, and this fabric was made in Japan. So this is a Japanese print, which the Japanese fabrics are absolutely beautiful, but packaged in Malaysia. So they printed everything in Japan, and then they sent, I guess, the massive bolts of fabrics to Malaysia, and then the Malaysian factory cut everything down and packaged it. Isn't that interesting? And so this one distributed by Bluprint. So these were done when Bluprint took over Craftsy, which didn't last for a whole heck of a long time. But anyway, I really liked this collection. And Crafty Gemini, I really love her, Vanessa. She did a project with Bluprint where she used this to make a pillow, and that's what sold me on it because it was so pretty. This is a beautiful print. I have 2 yards of that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. And then this one, so I am like a bird fanatic. I absolutely love birds. And this beautiful, beautiful print, which is in the same collection as the one I just showed you, has these gorgeous doves. And I just really, I had to have it. I'm not usually someone that likes darker stuff. I stay away from blacks and things like that. I had my black fabrics phase when I was a younger person. I wore nothing but black, but now I like color. But this one, also made in Japan, packaged by Malaysia, which of course makes sense. So that was a Bluprint fabric. And then here, this, you know, this is interesting. So now that I'm pulling this stuff out and really looking at it with you, all this time, I thought that this was the same as this. And clearly it is not. I would say likely, oops, this goes with this. Oh, yeah. Okay, because you can kind of see the same yellow undertone. Huh. All right, so this one has, let me see if you can see that. This one has like really pretty. It's tone on tone. It's hard to see. I'll try doing photos and overlay. You'll be able to see it better that way. So it's like a beautiful corsage of flowers here. And if I have to guess, I'm going to say this probably goes with this collection. Is it boundless? It is a boundless. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I can kind of look at the labels, and they're very similar. Oh, yeah. Okay, so they both end in the same SKU. So this is a collection. This one, I have 4 yards of this. 4 yards, I think. 3 yards. This is a 3-yard cut. So it's a pretty big cut of fabric. But I got those to go together. I don't know what I'm doing. This would make really pretty curtains if I wanted to do curtains. It's also nice for quilting because you have like what they call the low value stuff, which is also what this is. When you have the low values, gives your eye a rest when you're, and it shows off your pattern better when you have the low value. When you put low and high value, which is lights and darks, you know, it just pops better. And so you can see like this is a really warm toned neutral or low value. It's very, very yellow. This is more of a neutral. So, you know, this is going to go better with the cool stuff. Okay, like that, because a green would be a cool. And anything warm, like this red, let's say. You can see that's going to go better with that than the cool. Although, when you look at this, I'm totally just like stream of consciousness to you right now. The ground on this is very white, so it's not quite as warm as you think. So I probably would wind up mixing it maybe with that. I'm not sure. I'd have to play with figuring out the right low value neutral. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. All right, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull all this stuff out of the bags, and I'm going to put it on the bolts, and then, yeah, let's come back and take a look at everything presented beautifully on bolts. That is today's video. I sure hope you enjoyed it. You know, it was kind of a walk down memory lane for me because I haven't actually gone through all of these things in a while. So it's really nice to just kind of get everything out and physically handle it again. And I know like some people are like, why would you take it out of the plastic? Because it's protected and da 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 da. It is, but you know what? I bought all this stuff to use it. I'm not going to resell it. I loved it so much when I bought it. I still find I really love it. So if I was going to sell it like on Etsy, because I do sell like yarn that I'm not using anymore, I do put that into my Etsy shop. And I will be doing more of that here soon as we're getting into fall, but that's a digression. The fabric I'm keeping, I want to use it. And I am not using it when it's wrapped up in the plastic. Now, the precuts, they're fine. I'll leave those wrapped. But the yardage, I wanted it out, and I want to like mix it in with the other prints that I have on the display shelf because, you know, I'm not going to use it if I can't see it. So it's out and now I'm ready to sew. My light keeps changing on me today, so it's one of those days where it's clouds in and out, but it's beautiful weather and I'm grateful for it. Okay, that is today's video. That's all I've got for you. I really appreciate you watching and hanging out. I hope you enjoyed just kind of spending a little quiet time together and going through some really pretty prints. And, you know, hang around, stick around, more to come. And, you know, that's what I've got for you. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video and all around YouTube. Bye.